Hi, today I would like to show you how I make gum paste name plaques and how I attach them to cakes. Okay, so I'm going to start with some gum paste. All this is Wilton fondant, and I added a bit of Tylose powder to it, and it basically makes it into gum paste, and it makes it more firm and easier to work with. I'm going to use my rolling pin, a little name plaque cutter. This is also a cookie cutter, but you can use it as a name plaque cutter. My Martha Stewart letter mold, my silicone work mat, paintbrush, and my Sculpey slicer. Add a little cornstarch to my work area, and I'm going to roll it out. Okay, it should be good. And now I'm going to cut it out. Just pull away the excess. Okay, now I want this to dry, but I don't want it to dry flat. I want to be able to attach it to the cake that I'll be doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry on a dummy cake, a styrofoam dummy cake. And to do that, I'm going to cut the styrofoam dummy cake in half, and then I'm going to place it on there, and it's going to take the shape of the styrofoam dummy cake. And that's how this is going to dry. So let me show you how I cut my styrofoam dummy cakes with my styro cutter, and we will continue in a bit. So this is my styrofoam dummy cake. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. That way it lays flat on my table, and I'm going to allow my name plaque to dry right here. So I have my styro cutter I purchased from Hobby Lobby. This is it. Just turn it, you plug it in, turn it on, and this part becomes very, very hot. So if you're going to use this, you have to be very careful. It gets very hot, and just be careful of you. So what I'm going to do, what's easier is if I stand it up this way, just start slicing in half. Basically melting the styrofoam form. You can see that? Very simple. See? And there it is. Turn it off, and be careful, it's going to stay hot for a little while until it cools down. And that is how I cut my styrofoam dummy cakes. Now I have two. So basically what I do is I allow it to lay flat. I need this to be flat. Now I have my little name plaque that I made. I put it on here, and now this will take the shape of this size of cake. This is a 10-inch round, and it's going to take the shape of it, and it's going to dry on here as well. So if you're doing a 10-inch round cake, you're going to need a 10-inch round styrofoam dummy cake, and allow it to dry on the same size. So when it's completely dry, all I do is pick it up. It's completely dry, and I can then attach it to the same size of cake that I'm using with some royal icing. Okay, and it's gonna have a perfect fit. So now I'm gonna make some letters for this name plaque, and we'll finish up. The letters for this name plaque, and we're gonna attach them to this name plaque. For the letters, I like to use this Martha Stewart mold. So what I do is I get a bit of cornstarch and I look for the letters, put a bit of cornstarch in the letter that I will be using. And I just need a small amount of gum paste. You don't want to use a lot because then that makes my finger, and then I'm going to push down into the letter. And I'm going to get my rolling pin. I'm going to smooth it out gently. Then you're going to be able to see the letter right through it. Okay, now I have my slicer, my Sculpey Super Slicer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide my blade right across, gentle and not too fast. Okay, anything that you see sticking out of the letter mold, just push it back in with your finger. Now, to remove it, all you do is bend your mold a bit, and it should come right out. See? Now it's gonna have some cornstarch on it, and it's okay. I just have a little brush that I like to use, like a little fan, and all I do is I dust it off, the cornstarch. Continue with the rest of the letters. Get a bit more gum paste. Two letters, I'm going to slice them. I like to sometimes put a little cornstarch on my blade just to help me out. Now I'm going to push back any bits of gum paste that I see sticking out. Just push it back with the flat end of this ball tool. This is a ball tool. This is a flat end of it. So paste letters have been drying. They're ready to work with. I will let them dry for about an hour. That way they're not so soft, they're a little bit more firm. Now we're going to attach them to the gum paste name plaque that we created earlier. I have my edible glue. And I'm going to just place a small mark with my glue of where each letter will go. Place a small mark to begin with. That way if I need to adjust them, I still can. The name plaque. So I left a little mark where the letter goes with the glue. Now I'm going to attach just a bit of glue on the back of the letter. So I'm just attaching the rest of the letters, and I made little marks with the edible glue of where I want my letters to go. So I'm just applying a little bit on the back. attached, I'm going to attach these gum paste roses that I made from a rose mold. Okay, so same thing with my edible glue. Just need a little, not a lot. Now I'm going to add a few leaves, and to make the leaves, just get a small amount of green gum paste, form it into a ball, and then form it into a teardrop shape, or flatten it just a bit, and that's my leaf. So now what I'm doing is adding some more leaves with my green gum paste, and I'm going to adhere them with some edible glue. Here's my completed name plaque, and now I'm going to add some shine to the name plaque and get rid of any little edible glue stains or any bits of cornstarch that may be left with my mini steamer. This is a mini steamer, and I'll leave a link where you can purchase this. I'm going to shine it for a few seconds, and after you shine it, don't touch it because it might be a little tacky. Okay, so there it is. Allow your name plaque to dry for at least a day before you attach it to your cake. And this can be attached to a cake with some royal icing. If you have questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Have a great day.